Hello everyone, you're welcome to my channel. Today we'll be learning how I made this satin wrap dress. It's a reversible dress. You can tie it to the front or to the back. And also I would love to point out that yours can be fuller if you want. So let us know if you try this out. Our handles is right in, you see my IG handle there, and drop if you try it, send us a picture, let us know, drop a comment, like and share the video with your loved ones. So with all this, let's just go right into it. The fabric I used for this is a Duchess fabric, and I used 3 yards for it. 3 years was what I used, and these are the tools I need for my work. So I'm going to take this to the floor so that I could capture the whole process, because the table is quite small. So now to get the width you need, what I used was my waist times 2. So my waist is 34. 34 times 2 gave me 68. 68 divided by 4, I had 17. But what I have here is like 18.5 thereabout. That's plus the seam allowance. Like I said, my fabric was not enough. If you want it fuller, use your hip measurement times 2. Whatever you have is what you will use. Then fold it and divide it into 4. That is the amount of fabric you will need. So now I've taken my shoulder measurement. This is the length that I need. Though the length was not enough for me, it's 58, 57 or 58 thereabout. It's not up to my length, is more than that. So I'm taking my chest line, which is 8. My waistline, half length is 17. And that's my hip measurement. That's how I get my hip measurement. So when I cross-check, it's giving me 26. So now I'm going to connect with a straight line on my chest line there. I'm going to extend my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 7.5. Because I'm cutting directly on the fabric, I used 8. So please, like I always say in my videos, make sure to use your measurement. That's the shoulder slope. I went in by 1. The width, I did 3.5. The depth for the back, I did 1. For the front, I did 3. As you know that this is a cut together project. That's the front and the back panel. I'm cutting them together. So that's me connecting the neck and giving it a curve. If you have a curve ruler, please make good use of it. Now I'm connecting my shoulder slope. I'm doing my shoulder curve. You see that I curved it with like 0.2. I gauged it because that will be for the back. So when I'm sewing, I'm going to do the deepening for the front. What this does, it helps you eliminate bulge from the shoulder region. That's the armhole region. Sorry, that's my my chest measurement. Sorry, and I'm going to impute my sewing allowance, 1 inch sewing allowance there. The waist, my waist measurements, my hip measurements. Watch, I didn't add allowances on these ones. The only place I've added allowance is my chest line. That's my bust measurement. So I'm repeating same measurement for the hip, for the down part. That's the baseline of the dress. So I'm going to connect with a straight line to meet the hip measurement. So I'm blending off all the sharp edges. So now I'm going to repeat again my waist measurement. I'm actually using the whole of the fabric. So from that point, from the chest line, I'm going to go down, that's the bust line, I'm going to go down by 2 inch. You can do 2.5, it's totally up to you. I went up by 1 inch and I went down by 1 inch. Then from the down part that I went down by 1 inch, I'm going to go in again by 1 inch. Like so. So I'll connect them. That will be connected to straight down to the baseline. Then for the upper parts of the 1 inch I'm going to connect it to the 2 inch I went down by the chest line, like so. So from this 1 inch, that's where I'm going to sew. I'm going to sew with 0.5, weave with the rest one. So like I said, now this is a recap. I went down by 2, went up from the waistline by 1, went down from the waistline by 2, and me showing you that I repeated my waist measurement there. So if you want the wrap fuller, what you do is you're going to use, like I said, you're going to use your hip measurement to divide your fabric. So you're using your hip times 2. Whatever you get, you divide by 4. That's what will give you the length you want. So after imputing your waist measurement there, the next thing you're going to transfer there will be your hip measurement. So what that will do is when you wrap it, it's going to make the whole fabric, the front, full. You see, my own was not well covered because the fabric I had was not enough. So now we're cutting out. Cut out your fabric. Cut out the back first, please. Don't forget. Then you separate. Then you cut out the front. Please don't cut out the front first. Make sure you cut out the back first. Okay, now we're going to cut out facing for the back. I did a slit for the back for the I'm going to use buttonhole. I did 5. By the time I'm done sewing, I'll have like 6 or 5.5. So it's still safe. So I'm going to slit it open. So the 5 inch I marked. So now I'm going to put the facing. So for the shoulder, I went in by 2. As me marking the 2. You make sure to pin your fabric so it doesn't move. So I'm going front and back. Then from that 5 inch I slit, I went down by 2.5. It was eye gauge, but that's the amount that was left. So this is what we have for the back. I'm going to add interface to it. You can use paper stay. If you have wording, you can use wording. That's that soft one that looks like a bandage. Yeah. So now I'm placing for the front the same. I went from the shoulder, I went in two. So I'll cut. What that does is when I'm sewing it, it's going to align with the one for the back. So your measurement has to be equal. And also for the depth, I went down from the neckline by 2 as well. Three that way, then connect it to the 2. So when I'm done weaving it, I will have like 2.5 or 2 left. If it's less than that, it will fall out. It will be falling out, except you use a stay to hold it. So it's better that way. So now I have sewn my stripe that I'm going to use for the button, hanging of the button, or you know what it's called. But so I went down from the neckline of the back. I went down by 0.5. That's where this strap is going to sit. Because when I turn my neckline, by the time I'm done sewing my neckline, it will be at the tip of it as well. So that's why I have to go down by 0.2, 0.5. I hope I'm making sense. So now I've pinned it down. I'm going to put the face in, then transfer the pin to it just to secure, to keep my work firm. Then I'll sew round by 0.5. I've gone ahead to pin the front as well. I'm repeating the same process for the front. You can see I've added my interface and I've weaved it. So round. If you don't have a weaving machine, you can use a bias. You can turn it, fold it before you do the work. Or when you're done, you take it to the commercial distance to weave. So now I'm cutting the sleeve. The length I use is 26. My normal sleeve length is 25, 24. Yeah. I use 26. I will fold. By the time I'm done folding, I'll have like 25. And so when I move it up a little, I can have this ball kind of shape. That's the idea I had in my mind doing it. So my shoulder width is, is 8 that I use. So I've marked out that 8 there. I'm going to divide by 2. And I'm going to come down from the baseline by 4. I went in by 2 from the baseline, then went down by 4 from the baseline. So I'm connecting them together. I went in by 4 from the baseline, that's the tip, went down by 4. I hope I'm not making mistake. Then the width that I use 10 for the down. So when you open it, I have 20. So I'm just going to connect it. I want it such in a way that the upper part will be thinner, then the down part will be a bit fuller. I hope it makes sense. So if you've watched up to this part and you're yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe to our channel, turn on your notification bell, make sure to like our video. It helps a lot when you like a video. It helps push the video. So the best thing you can do for a content creator is on YouTube, creating like sewing channels like this, is to always like their video. It helps a lot. So I'm notching the mid part of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the baseline 0.5, I'm folding again 0.5 because I'm going to pass a channel. I'm going to pass elastic through that channel. So let's go sew. So this is the shoulder. I've ironed. I always like to have done the button loop. I always like to sew my sleeve after I've sewn my shoulder. I feel comfortable sewing it that way. If there's an adjustment, it's more easier for me to adjust the sleeve, depending on the nature of the dress you're making though. So I've joined the shoulder. This is, and I've sewn one of the sleeve, but I just want to show us. So this is how I did it for a beginner that you're just coming across this. That's me, the notch part. I'm putting it in the middle of the shoulder that I've sewn. So for the front part, I told you in the beginning of the that I would dip in for the front when I did that contouring at the armhole side for the back. So now I'm doing for the front, and I'm repeating same thing for the sleeve as well, so that it will balance. So I'm doing the same thing I did there for the sleeve. So I trimmed off like, let me see, 0.3. So I'm just going to sew around. This is the one that I've sewn. Just want to show us. I've joined the sleeve, and I want to show us I'm going to put the elastic. How to get your elastic measurement? It just what I did was I folded around my sleeve. This is how I got the measurement I need. So I'll fold the elastic around my sleeve and I cut. So you stretch to get the desired stretch you want. Then sew. You secure it. I secured with a pin. Then when I take it to the machine, I'm going to sew it. So I just want to show us, because I've sewn the sleeve of this one already. I just want to show us what I'm going to do on the other one. So when you're done sewing, now I cut out a stripe for the waistline that I'm going to an extension. So I did 44, but yours can be lesser, because yours can be lesser than that. From 30 to 30 should be enough, depending on your waist size though. But this one was SS. So I'm going to put it this way at the end, tint it inward, then the rough part coming out like so. I'll secure with a pin. I'll secure with a pin. And I'll sew from the 1 inch from the shoulder. Then when I'm sewing towards that other side, I'm going to do 0.5. It's just from the chest line that I'm holding from 1 inch. So I'm repeating same to the other side. We're almost done sewing, like almost there. Please let us know if you try this out. Send us, like I said from the beginning of the video, send us a message on our Instagram. My Instagram handle is there. Um, Here I'm done. Like our channel, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you if you try this out. And turn on your notification bell. This is me hemming how I'm going to hem 0.5, but I didn't hem this because the material, the length is not enough for me. So thank you